Armory. You might remember we were just there at the end of March where Tim Tszyu took on and beat Terrell Gausha. Well, we're coming back. And this time we're bringing the unified champion with us, Stephen Fulton Jr., Cool Boy Steph, the WBO, the WBC unified champion, puts his belts on the line against the former unified champ and Danny Roman, the babyface assassin. It will be the main event. You'll also see on that card another great fight between two really heavy-handed fighters. You've got the unbeaten David Morrell, who obviously from Cuba, but since he's come stateside, has made Minneapolis his hometown. He will take on the once beaten Calvin Henderson. By the way, Henderson, if you look at his last three of his last four fights, he's won by stoppages, including all that he fought in 2021. So that will be the first fight of the night that you'll see from the Armory there on June 4th. By the way, these fights are being promoted by TGB Promotions and Warriors Boxing. Also, the Fulton versus Roman main event is being promoted in association with Thompson Boxing. For those of you interested in being in the Armory, an historic venue where so many great fighters have fought, I'm talking legends have fought there from Sugar Ray Robinson, and you can name the countless others. Tickets can be purchased right there at the Armory, or you can get them at armorymn.com. Again, armorymn.com, and you can also purchase your tickets through Ticketmaster. So again, the main event, you have Fulton taking on Roman, and then we'll begin the night with Morrell taking on Henderson. It should be a great night of boxing there in Minneapolis on Showtime Championship Boxing. Now, I'm going to talk to all four of the fighters here. We're going to start with the two fighters that you're going to see at the beginning of the night. And for members of the media, we're going to allow you to ask your questions to these fighters. All you have to do is hit the raise your hand icon there on the Zoom. We'll acknowledge you, and you can ask the fighters your questions. So with that, let's begin with the first fight of the night. And you'll see David Morrell. He's unbeaten, 6-0. 5 of his wins have come by knockout. He's based out of Minneapolis. Now that he has come stateside from Cuba, that was in 2019, and he's got a challenge in front of him because he is taking on Calvin Henderson, 15-1-1. He's got 11 knockouts. And as I said earlier, he's won 3 of his last 4 fights, and all 3 of his fights in 2021 were by stoppages. So this is going to be a slugfest between these guys. Let's start with David Morrell. And David, if you could, give members of the media just your thoughts on facing Calvin Henderson and doing it in your hometown now, your adopted hometown of Minneapolis. And I know Martine Bader is here to do the translation.
Thank you, Caster. David, bueno, contanos tus sensaciones previas a enfrentar a un rival del calibre de Henderson y además el poder hacerlo una vez más en lo que se ha convertido en tu ciudad adoptiva de Minneapolis, donde la gente te quiere un montonazo.
No, like, hey man, thank you everybody. Like, first time, much respect for Henderson, much respect for like everybody. Va a ser mi tercera pelea en el Armory, ya representando, gracias a Dios, por todo ha sido por la vida del knockout. Y nada, simplemente prepararme para el boxeador que es Kevin Henderson, porque es un boxeador bastante, ¿sabes? Que se merece el respeto de todos los boxeadores que peleen con él.
Calvin Henderson is a quality opponent. He deserves the respect of anybody that's in front of him, including me. And I look forward to fighting against him. Having said that, I love fighting in Minneapolis because I fought there 3 times and I've won there all 3 times by knockout. So I look forward to seeing everybody there on June 4th.
Voy a salir, ¿sabes? Voy a salir a trabajar, a hacer lo que, perdón, lo que siempre he hecho. Hacer ese mi trabajo, hacer lo que le gusta a mi público y, ya sabes, a darme otra victoria más para la bolsa.
I'm going to come out there, do my job, give fans a show, the show that they deserve, and then get another win for my record.
Fantastic. Cal, well, listen, you heard him. He says he loves fighting there in Minneapolis, his adopted hometown, and he wants to give his fans a knockout. What do you think about going in Morrell's backyard and, of course, fighting him and those fans?
Yeah, man, same here. We got mutual respect for Morrell. We know that he has a strong amateur background. We know he has skills. We know that he ain't no slouch. But all the pressure is on him. You know what I mean? We going to his adopted hometown. He's undefeated. I have one loss. So that whole pressure of going there trying to remain undefeated is off my back. I'm going out there and put on a good show, using my skill sets, and put my hands on him, man.
Yeah, love it. David, obviously, it's going to be a great opportunity for people to see you on Showtime. Talk to me about, being on this kind of platform as well as being there in Minneapolis.
Bueno, el estar por Showtime es una gran plataforma, además de poder estar frente a gente en Minneapolis, frente a una audiencia nacional que en una de las cadenas más populares del país. ¿Qué significa para vos el tener esta oportunidad de demostrar tu valía frente a una audiencia muy grande?
Es mi oportunidad de mostrarle al mundo entero de lo que soy capaz de hacer, de lo que puedo hacer sobre el ring y de todas las cosas que en realidad tiene David Morrell Jr., ¿me entiendes? Y es una de las... Bueno, es la plataforma más grande que hay para uno poderse dar a conocer, ¿no? Y es lo que voy a hacer. Menos que todo porque es mi oportunidad y estoy... voy por todo.
I'm going for it all. This is the biggest possible platform that you can have to show the world what you're capable of. And I plan to take full advantage of it. What I want to do is go out there, take advantage of that platform, and then prove my worth to everybody in Minneapolis and around the world.
Cal, same question to you. Just the opportunity of fighting on Showtime, this platform, getting the opportunity to see your skills, and fighting a guy who obviously is confident, but says he wants to stop you in this fight.
Yeah, man, it don't get no bigger than this. You know what I mean? Fighting on Showtime, co-main event for a world title. This is the thing people dreams about when they first started boxing. So to have this opportunity, we're going to take full advantage of it also too. And as you know, when you have a game opponent, it's going to bring out the best in you. So expect to see the best Morrell, the best Henderson come June 4th. It's going to be fireworks. June 10th. Stay tuned.
David, do you believe the winner of this fight is ready for, let's say, the David Benavidez, the Caleb Plants of the 168-pound division?
¿Sentís, David, que aquel que gane la pelea entre vos y Henderson estaría listo para subir al nivel de un Benavidez, de un Plant en la división de las 168 libras?
No, 100%, of course. Like, yo digo que es la oportunidad de subir a la grandes ligas. Tanto Henderson como yo, los dos tenemos las cualidades suficientes para poder pelear con cualquiera de sus boxeadores. Y pienso que sea la oportunidad ya de subir a otro nivel y darle a demostrar de verdad quién es el mejor de las 168 libras.
This is absolutely the chance for both Henderson and I to prove that we can get the call up to the majors in a way, to where we can prove that we can be among the elite and face, like you said, the caliber of opponents of a Benavidez or Plant or anybody that might come our way to try to be atop the division.
And Cal, I guess the same question to you. Do you believe the winner of this fight is ready for the Caleb Plants, the David Benavidez, who we'll just see on Showtime in the next 2 weeks?
No, definitely. I agree with Morrell. It's a way to show your worth, you know what I mean? And we also know that winning fights ain't good enough. It's how you win and how you look good winning that put you into that different perspective of different big leagues. And so, yeah, I definitely agree, yeah.
Well, listen, I know there are a number of people from the media who want to talk to you guys and get questions. Members of the media, all you have to do is hit the raise your hand icon here on the Zoom. We will acknowledge you and you can ask your question to the fighters. Flo Joku from Showtime Sports. She will acknowledge you, members of the media, and then you can unmute yourself and ask your question. So let me turn it over to Flo.
Hi, everyone. So the first question is from Keith Idek from Boxing Scene. Keith?
Thank you, Flo. My first question is for Calvin. Calvin, how much of a step up do you feel that this is for you in this fight?
On paper, it may look like a big step up, but really, man, the people who been sparring, people who fought in the amateurs, it's not much different. You know what I mean? We don't fought international competition, the amateurs also. We don't be ranked number 4 in the country as the amateurs too. And so it just now a platform being to prove that to you guys. Like what we already know already, what we see in the gym every day, and we got to show y'all.
Calvin, what do you think went wrong for you in your fight against Isaiah Steen? And what?
Yeah, so in the third round, I actually suffered an injury in the third round. He had a really good game plan during that fight. It was executing that game plan during that fight. And then something that you can't account for was just injury that happened during that fight. But we made the best of it. We didn't quit. We ain't no punks. We got heart from Texas. You know how Texas people for it to do. And so we finished the fight all 10 rounds with that injury. And we didn't make no excuses. You know what I mean? All we did get back to the drawing board and work our way back to this position.
Calvin, what was the injury you suffered in the third round?
Come again?
What was the injury that you suffered in the third round?
It was a torn muscle.
In your arm or something, or?
Correct, yeah.
Was it something that bothered you going into the fight, or it happened during the fight?
No, I happened during the fight.
Okay, thanks, Calvin. Also, a couple questions for David. David, what do you think of Calvin? What have you seen from him? How does he maybe compare to some of the opponents that you have fought this far?
David, ¿qué opinas de Calvin y cómo se compara él a los oponentes que has tenido hasta ahora?
Yo la verdad, primero que todo, ¿sabes? Respeto a todos mis oponentes. Yo nunca mido a uno con otro, ¿me entiendes? Para mí todos son buenos, me preparo para todo igual. No tengo ninguna diferencia con uno con otro. Simplemente admito la calidad boxística que tiene Kevin.
I always prepare for each opponent the same way. I will never dare overlook anybody that I face, and I don't think that the preparation should differ that much from one fight to another. Having said that, I do respect Calvin, and I think that he has earned the respect that he's given as the caliber of fighter that he is. He's another level and another challenge.
And David, I know obviously at some point you would like to fight Canelo Alvarez for the 168-pound titles. What did you think of his loss on Saturday night, and were you surprised by it?
Bueno, él sabe que te gustaría en algún momento poder pelear con Canelo Álvarez en la división de las 68 libras. ¿Y qué opinaste de lo que fue la pelea del sábado contra Bivol, en la que perdió contra el ruso en la división de 65 libras?
Sí. No, yo pienso lo que siempre he dicho. Canelo es un excelente boxeador. Tiene mi respeto tanto como boxeador que como ser humano, tú sabes. Fuera de ring es super nice. Tuve la oportunidad de conocerlo. Pero simplemente lo que pasó fue lo siguiente, lo mismo que yo dije que iba a pasar. Un boxeador que se le moviera, un boxeador que fuera fuerte, un boxeador que trabajara dentro y fuera, le iba a hacer la pelea más difícil a Canelo, ¿me entiendes? Y en este caso fue Vigor. Y fue exactamente lo que estaba diciendo hace mucho tiempo.
Canelo is an excellent fighter and an outstanding person. I've gotten the chance to meet him, and I think that he is absolutely awesome. But as far as the fight goes, I think that everything happened the way I said that it was going to happen, where Bivol is someone that is versatile and had mobility, and that mobility gave Canelo a lot of trouble because Bivol was able to get in and out whenever he wanted, and Canelo never really figured that out. And then you saw the result of what happened at the end of the fight.
Thank you, guys.
The next question will come from Maxwell Fuller from KFAN. Maxwell, if you can please unmute yourself.
Hey, my first question is for David. David, obviously you're from Cuba, and I was just wondering, what was your reaction to finding out that Cuba is finally allowing boxers to fight professionally again?
Tu reacción, David, a que en Cuba legalizaron o permiten que ahora se pelee de forma profesional en la isla.
Like, eso, mi reacción es esa, siempre que positiva, ¿no? Porque es una oportunidad más que le estamos dando a los boxeadores cubanos, que lamentablemente no tenemos esa posibilidad como otros boxeadores que, ¿sabes? De todos los países que pueden, por ejemplo, de su propio país, ser boxeadores profesionales. ¿Sabes? Nosotros tenemos que, desgraciadamente, abandonar el país, abandonar nuestra familia, dejarlo todo atrás para poder cumplir un sueño, sin saber cuándo puedo volver. Como mi ejemplo, llevo 4 años sin ver a mi familia, el 4 de junio cumplo 4 años sin ver a mi familia, so, es algo bien difícil. Estoy súper contento con eso que están haciendo, siempre y cuando no hagan lo mismo que hicieron el año pasado cuando Cuba-México, so, solamente con eso.
¿Qué pasó el año? No entendí lo del año pasado. ¿Qué pasó el año pasado?
No, que habían dicho que iba a ser como profesionales, pero solamente fue literalmente un tope Cuba-México, so, no fue tan profesional como exactamente dice, ¿me entiendes? So, no pueden venir a los Estados Unidos a pelear aquí, so, solamente lo hacen en México. Sería un ejemplo, el estado de Cuba sería su manejador y México su promotor, ¿me entiendes? So, no tiene... Es profesional, pero no profesional de todo.
Okay, so this measure by Cuba to allow professional boxing, I think that it opens a lot of doors for Cuban fighters who had those doors closed before, and maybe they couldn't have the opportunities that they deserve. Look at my case, where I had to leave my family behind, I had to leave my country behind, all in order to pursue a dream. On June 4th, it's going to be the 4th anniversary of me not being able to see my family. So whatever makes the path easier and more convenient for Cuban fighters to pursue their dreams, I'm all for it. Now, what I don't want to see happen is something like last year, to where, you know, they thought that they were going to make pro boxing legal, and then it was kind of like a halfway thing, and then it was only semi-pro. As long as it's legit and professional boxing is truly allowed there, then that only makes me happy.
Like you said, it's been 4 years, which is kind of amazing that it's been that long since then. And you've kind of made Minneapolis your adopted home. You've fought here plenty of times. I'm a local guy here in Minneapolis. I like seeing you over at the Armory. It's pretty awesome. But is there anywhere in the world that you haven't got a chance to fight that you'd like to fight?
Una ciudad del mundo en la que todavía no hayas peleado y te encantaría pelear.
Damn, like, I don't know, man. Por mí como si peló un puente.
¿En dónde?
No, como si peló un puente, like, I don't care. O sea, así. Pero un lugar que sí me gustaría pelear sería en Grecia.
Atenas.
Ajá, sí, en Grecia, Atenas, ajá, exacto.
Okay, look, if I have to fight under a bridge, I'll do it. I don't care. I don't care where I have to go. I love to fight. But if you ask me which country and which city I would like to fight in, I would say Athens, Greece. That would be on my bucket list.
Wow, man, that would be pretty sweet. One last question for David. What are some weaknesses in Calvin's game that you think you can take advantage of?
¿Qué limitaciones o debilidades de Calvin crees que tú vas a poder aprovechar durante la pelea?
No, la verdad es que no le veo no le veo ninguna limitación y tampoco ninguna debilidad. Lo veo como un excelente boxeador y simplemente voy a salir a divertirme, que es lo que siempre hago desde el ring.
I don't really see any truly evident limitations or weaknesses on Calvin's part. He's a quality fighter, and all I'm gonna do is go out there and have fun and do my job. The rest is up to June, or what happens on June 4th.
Okay. The next question comes from Cesar Seda from América TV. Cesar, if you can please unmute yourself.
Buenas tardes, César Sea, Decisión Dividida, América TV, Puerto Rico. Tengo una pregunta para ambos. I got a question for both. I'm going to start with Calvin first. Calvin, this is a tough fight for you, but it's a guy that just got a few fights as a pro, right? And you as a pro, you've been always in the look like you've been up and down in weight. What's been going on? You have to go 175. You started at 160. All the way, it's been a trouble with the weight, or it's just been what the fights that appear to you?
Yeah. So when I first turned pro back in 2016, I was fighting an amateur at 165 my whole career. And so the most logical choice, like when you turn pro, you go to 160. Now I realized how hard 160 was. Those extra 5 pounds was. And so maybe around fight 8 or 9, we decided to go up to 168. That way I can do some more strength training. I can have a better weight cut. And we've been there ever since. The fights you've seen like at the higher weights, it wasn't because of me, it was because my opponents couldn't come in at the 68 mark. So we just met them at those catch weights. But no, 168 is the weight class.
Thank you, Calvin. Morrell, David, sabemos que te conocemos bastante, hemos seguido tu carrera. David, estuve hablando con Stephen Espinosa allá en Dallas, en el encuentro en Dallas allá de UGAS, y una de las preguntas que se le hicieron fue exactamente el showdown, tú y Benavides, en 168 libras, quizás puede ser en 175, y tú hablaste temprano de de esta experiencia, cuán importante es esta experiencia para ti, pero esa es la pregunta. No es la experiencia, es cuán importante para ti ahora que te están dando esta oportunidad y para el pueblo cubano que te está viendo crecer y te sigue. Y la segunda parte de la pregunta es, ¿cómo te ha ido en tu preparación con Ronnie Shields? Tu primera preparación con Ronnie Shields en Houston, saliendo de tu gran campamento que tenías siempre ahí en tu área. ¿Cómo te ha ido eso y cuán grande es esta oportunidad?
Okay, let's do this. Un segundo. Vamos a responder la pregunta en dos partes. Sí. Voy a traducir la primera pregunta y después la respondes, y vamos a traducir la segunda pregunta y la responder. ¿Vale? So there's 2 questions from Cesar here. The first question is going to be how much, well, Steven Espinosa, the president of Showtime, he was talking in Dallas before the fight that we had last month between Spence and Ugas about the potential of Benavides against Morrell. So the question for Morrell is, how big is this opportunity for him? How much does it mean to him in order to achieve the things he wants to achieve in the division? Adelante, David.
No, respondiendo a la primera pregunta, César, fue una gran oportunidad porque tuve una vez más la oportunidad, tú sabes, de ver una gran pelea de cerca, ¿no? De sentir ese calor, esa energía de una gran pelea, de algo que en realidad es, bueno, súper, ¿me entiendes? Más al nivel de los grandes boxeadores que estaban ahí. Y yo digo que una gran oportunidad, porque tuve la oportunidad ya de una vez más de ver a muchos boxeadores face to face y ya como que dejando claro de que ya estoy aquí, ¿me entiendes? Que ya estoy aquí. Y una pelea con Benavides sería en la 168, sí o sí, ¿me entiendes? Y si quieres subir de peso, pues subimos de peso a la 175 y volvemos a pelear. Eso no hay ningún tipo de problema con eso. A todo lo contrario, ya estamos pensando ya queremos ya dejarnos, ¿sabes? Como, no excusa, pero como que ya ponerle un stop a todo y ya empezar a pelear ya con los grandes de la división.
There is absolutely nothing better than having a great opportunity and being able to seize it while enjoying the electricity and the warmth of the crowd and being able to fight in the big stages. That's priceless to me, and I wouldn't give that up for anything in the world. So I plan to take advantage of it like no one's business. And then as far as the possible fight with Benavides, if I do fight him, it will have to be at 168 probably. I mean, if he wants to go up to 175, okay, we can do it. But whenever if that does happen, then no excuses, and we'll be up for the challenge in whatever way, shape, or form it happens. And then the second question for David was, what was his experience with Ronnie Shields, like training in Houston, Texas? Bueno, David, entonces, para la pregunta sobre cómo era la experiencia con Ronnie Shields.
Sí. No, la experiencia ha sido... La otra vez solamente tuve 3 semanas, o no tuve la oportunidad así de trabajar bien. Este viaje ya tuvimos 10 semanas, o fue totalmente diferente. Ha sido una química, tú sabes, súper que positiva, súper Una experiencia, primera experiencia que tengo, o sea, aquí en Houston, lo que es un training camp, súper excelente, gracias a Dios. Y nada, hasta ahora estamos bien, todo bien, la preparación, ya estamos ya esperando solamente el momento ya de regresar a Minnesota, de acogernos ahí en el local donde tengamos que estar y ya y esperar la pelea. Ya estamos listos, solamente es esperar el momento y ya que lleguemos el día de la pelea, ya estamos ready ya para lo que sea, para que venga.
Morrell, ¿y cuál ha sido la...
No,
la...
espera que...
Oh, my bad, I'm sorry.
Espera que traigo. So, Ronnie has been as advertised, absolutely amazing. And unlike last time to where I only got to spend about 3 weeks with him, this time I got to spend 10 weeks with him, and it could not have been better. Outstanding chemistry, an outstanding training camp. It was just everything that I would have expected and more. We did everything that we had to do, and now we're ready to just go to Minnesota when that happens, and we're ready for the fight. We're just dotting the I's and, you know, making sure that everything is set, but we do feel ready now, and everything has just been amazing.
Morrell, all right, we're going to go to the next participant. Cesar, thank you. We want to make sure everybody gets to ask the question, if you don't mind. We're going to go to the next participant here, Ben Thompson, with the Boxing Source. Let's see. Ben, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, excuse me, you said Ben Thompson?
James Bell, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's you. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right. Cool. Questions for Calvin and David. First to Calvin. You were talking about you coming into this fight without much fears, or much pressure since you've already had your loss. But going into that, what was there that you learned in that particular fight outside of, dealing with the injury during the fight that, you could take from this and going into your fight against David Morrell?
I think it's just more confidence, just knowing that we belong there. You know what I mean? It's always this issue of you proving yourself in boxing. It's always this issue of, do I belong with the elite or to the next level? And headlining the ShowBox card back in July of last year, it showed everybody that we had the skills, even with the injury, that we still had the skills to hang in there and prove our worth and prove ourselves to the rest of the world. That's all boxing is about, is showing what you already know to the rest of the world. So that's what we're taking it to the next fight, is just that confidence, knowing we're supposed to be there.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to, Castro, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Flo. I appreciate it. And thank you, David. Thank you, Calvin. And certainly looking forward to you guys getting it on June 4th. Let's get to the main event. Now we get to the main event. And folks, that means you have the challenger, Danny Roman. He is the babyface assassin, the former unified champion. 29-3-1. He also has 10 knockouts, and he will be taking on the current unified, unbeaten champion, Stephen Fulton Jr. Cool Boy Steph. He's the WBO, the WBC champion of the world, 20-0, 8 knockouts. Listen, you look at his last 14 fights, he's beaten 8 undefeated fighters. He has taken on all comers, and they've all left the ring with an L. So let's start with the champion. Cool Boy Steph, the unified champ. If you would, tell members of the media how training has going and your thoughts on facing Danny Roman.
First of all, I'd like to say thank y'all for having me. Alhamdulillah. All praise be to Allah. Gotta put my God first. Everything's been great. Camp's been going good. Leading up to this fight, camp's been amazing. It's been challenging for me, especially during Ramadan. And I'm just looking forward to June 4th.
That's great. And now the challenger, the babyface assassin, Danny Roman, the former unified champion. Danny, if you would, talk to the members of the media, let them know how training camp has been going and your thoughts on facing Stephen Fulton Jr.
Thank you for having me, and it's been going good. It's been a great camp. We're getting ready for the best, unified champion, Stephen Fulton, and it's a fight you got to see, June 4th.
Let me start with you, champ. Stephen, you talked about this, with Ramadan going on, and listen, we've seen how that has affected some of the athletes in sports, in basketball and things of that nature. Do you think that will have any effect on you, on your energy level, your output level going into this fight in June?
No, it actually helped me. It actually helped me a lot. Training with low energy, training with little fuel, that actually helped me for this month and far as making weight.
Interesting. That is really interesting. I thought one thing that was interesting too, you had tweeted out talking, and you responded to Danny Roman when this fight had been named. You said, listen, you better be working as much as you've been tweeting. So what was the message you were trying to send to Danny Roman?
I mean, the message was self-explanatory. They was doing a lot of tweeting me and kind of saying I was ducking and this that, and third, and I just made the fight happen. I ain't say shit. I ain't say nothing. I made the fight happen. That's what I do. I make things happen. So I just wanted them to keep that same energy.
Danny,
I was presented with other fighters to face, so it was up to me to choose who I wanted to face, and that's who I chose. So it wasn't a fact that this person was kept calling me out and things like that. No, it wasn't that. He deserved the opportunity, so I gave him the opportunity. But when you start saying I'm ducking, it was just like, all right, we'll see.
And that's an interesting point, Stephen, because there are a number of people who thought, are you going to run it back with Figueroa? Obviously, Figueroa wants to move up in weight and things of that nature. So tell me why you said Danny Roman, let's do it.
He was a former unified champion. He's a great fighter. You can't take that away from him. I didn't understand. I don't know how what happened. I don't understand how he didn't, rematch for his original belts back. But he'll be facing me for mine. So I wanted to give him that opportunity.
Danny, let's give you the opportunity to respond to that. Hey, look, Stephen said I wasn't ducking you, and he says he wants you to have that same energy on June 4th at the Armory in Minneapolis.
We're gonna have the same energy, I'm just trying to I was throwing it out there, I'm the next guy you're gonna fight. Don't forget about me, He was calling me out when I was a champion, and he gave me the chance, so I'm gonna fight him. You could consider him the best in the division right now, Stephen Fulton. Yes, I don't know what happened with the rematch against MJ, but what? Right now I'm concentrated on Fulton. He's the guy in front of me, and he's the champion I want right now.
Stephen, you had a body slugfest with Angela Leo. You said, I'm going to go in the ring and I'm going to fight your fight. You did that. And there was a number of times you did the same thing with Brandon Figueroa. So I'm going to beat you at fighting your fight. So what kind of fight then, though, do you expect from Danny Roman? Because I would assume it'd be different.
I would expect him to be different than his previous fight and any other fight. He's looking to bounce back on top. So I have to be smart. I have to be smart. I have to be able to adapt no matter what. And those are the things that I do the best. So, I mean, I don't really have much to say today. And I'm not sure why. I just don't have much to say today.
Danny Roman, what do you think is going to be the difference in this fight?
No, we know that Stephen Fulton, he can make the right adjustments, It's going to depend on the fight he brings and the fight the adjustments. Whoever makes the best adjustment is going to take that fight. You could say it could be like a chess game, I could do a little bit of everything and he could do a little bit of everything as well. So it all depends who makes the right adjustment that night.
I get the sense, Danny Roman, that this is one of those give me my respect type fights. You were the former unified champ. Now Stephen Fulton is the guy at the top of the division. there was a number of times where you, even though you had lost the belt, you came back and were winning fights. You were like, "Excuse me, I'm still here." It seems like this is one of those give me my respect type fights. Do you agree?
Of course, I mean that's what every fighter wants. That even when I became a unified champion, they still had me below the other champions. So, and I think as Fulton as well, everybody trying to prove themselves, as the best, especially the best in the division. So you could say yes, this is the fight, fighting against the best, considered the best instead of Fulton in the division, and I get the chance to fight him. I get the chance to be back on top as well.
And would you say the same thing for you, Stephen Fulton, considering you are the unified champ, but yet, there were still people saying, well, why didn't he fight Brandon Figueroa again? Or why is such and such and such? Is this still one of those fights where you can show people, hey, look, give me my respect. I'm showing y'all I'm the best in this division. I just fought the former unified champ.
No, I'm not even looking for their respect anymore. I don't care what they think. I know what I am, and it shows, and I'm unified champ. Everything I have to prove is to myself from here on out. I feel like my last fight put me in that mode, and it taught me a lot about myself and a lot about my surroundings and the sport of boxing. Sometimes people can be unappreciative and not give you that respect. So at that point, it's just I don't give a F no more what nobody thinks or what the people thinks anymore. I'm doing these fights for me.
I love it because you've always, even in our discussions, have talked about legacy, being the best, things of that nature. So after this fight, and what do you think is next for the winner of this fight, Stephen?
I mean, the winner of the MJ fight, I feel like that was supposed to be the next fight after the Brandon fight. I mean, I feel like they want to keep waiting and prolonging and things of that. But that's the only fight to make. Is you did like ever since 2020, the only fights to make was the championship fights, unification bouts. I don't even think managers, promoters are even trying to let these guys build anymore. What's the point of it anymore? Put them in the fight. They think they're the best. They want to face champions. Let them face them. If you're number one or you're number two in the division, let them slug it out. Whoever comes out on top faces the winner of the two champions. And I've been saying this before I was even world champion.
And you've even told me your goal was to be the undisputed champ at 122. Is that still the goal?
Yeah. Once we take care of this fight, hopefully we get that next fight, and then it's on.
Danny,
but I had to respond to one thing that Danny Roman said, and he said when he was world champion, I was calling him out, and guess what? They didn't give me no opportunity. Nobody gave me an opportunity, but I'm giving him the opportunity. Nobody ever gave me an opportunity, but everybody looks at me and expects me to give the opportunities.
Interesting. Your response to that, Danny?
No, it's true though. It's true. He called me out. I had different plans. I wanted to unify the rest of the belts, be undisputed, and I'm thankful that he gave me the chance. And not another champion gives it a chance like that, and he gave me the chance. So, I'm thankful for that.
What do you think? What do you think is next for the winner of this fight, Danny?
Well, I'll take it one step at a time. Hopefully everything goes good. Let the best man win, and if it goes my way, it'll be good, and I'll see what happens after that.
Last but not least, we'll start with you, Danny Roman. For people who will tune in to Showtime Championship Boxing on June 4th, for people who will walk into that historic Armory on June 4th, what should they expect when you step into the ring with Stephen Fulton Jr.?
Oh, expect a great fight. Expect even the fight of the year. We go out there, we give our heart out. We give the best performance we could give, and we try to give the best for the people. And I know Fulton is going to give it as well. He's a unified champion. I know he's going to want to defend them belts. I want them belts, so it'll be a great night.
Cool boy, Steph. Same question to you, champ. For the people who will turn on championship boxing and walk into that Armory, what can you guarantee them that they're going to get on June 4th?
A victory. I can guarantee a victory. I can't tell you how I will come in that ring and fight because my mood and my mind changes every day. Depends on how I'm feeling it and on how I'm going to take take on Daniel Roman. It depends on how I'm feeling. You never know. But as of right now, I just expect the victory and a smart boxer.
Folks, I tell you, it's going to be one heck of a main event. I know there are members of the media who've got some questions for you guys, so let's get right to those questions. Flojoku, if you could, let the members of the media ask these men some questions.
All right, I'll start with Todd with Fight News. Todd, if you can please unmute yourself.
Hey there, cool boy. What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, for the folks that don't know, first of all, assalamu alaikum, man. I hope you're having a blessed Ramadan. Could you let them know what are the challenges? Could you just kind of explain just a little bit how that challenge is for a Muslim fighter?
It's very challenging because, you have to, it was like 2 times challenging for me because I'm losing weight for a fight, as well as you can't eat because you're fasting, right, because of the religion. So that was one of the first things that was a little challenging for me. But I had the mindset of this is going to help me make this weight easy. And now I'm walking around feeling great, feeling amazing right now. And I'm within weight. And you see, look at me, face structure still there. Another thing that was challenging was the sparring. You have to get in the ring and spar 8 rounds, maybe 10 rounds. And I'm always challenging myself and push the 12 at least once a week or every other week. So imagine doing those things and looking spectacular with no energy. And then I have to make the adjustments. I have to be able to pace myself in that ring. So that was very challenging for me, but I got it done, and I'm still getting it done. So those were just a few things to throw out there. No water during sparring. I can't have no water where I'm gonna put it at. I'm gonna put it on my head. I'm gonna cool myself down, cool my body down. I always say, like, when I'm losing weight and I'm in the hotel rooms and everything, since the last couple of days when you're drying out, since I don't really drink or eat things, I put the AC on, put the air conditioner on. I like my room temperature cool. That always keeps my body cool. So when I'm sparring, I put water on my head and just let it drench and cool my body down because I can't eat anything, as well as pushing the training time back so it could be enough like space and gap between me breaking fast and getting my workout done.
All right, the next question comes from Joe Santoliquito. Joe, if you can please unmute yourself.
Joe.
Hello, Stephen.
What's up?
Stephen, how can you say you're disrespected when we held a parade for you here in Philly? Balloons, floats, and everything. You were on the back of a car.
What parade? Where that parade was at?
You still think you're disrespected?
I don't really care for it no more.
Okay. All right. And how's the weight going? I know there was some issues with the weight and your hands.
There wasn't no issues with no weight.
Okay.
My hands are perfect.
Your hands are good too?
Yes.
Okay. What can we see different this time around? On a serious note, what can we see different this time around? This guy's a challenge for you.
You just expect me. Just me to be me. That's it. I can't give you much. I just got to be me.
Gotcha. All righty. Thank you, Stephen.
No, I appreciate you, Joe.
Next question comes from Keith Idek. Boxing Scene. Keith, please unmute yourself.
Yes, my first question is for Danny. Danny, your loss to Ahmadalia was obviously a very close fight that seemingly could have gone either way. How difficult has it been for you? And I know the pandemic obviously was thrown into the middle of it, but how difficult has it been having to deal with that very narrow loss and then having to wait basically 2.5 years to get another title fight?
No, I believe it was a close fight, and I still think I won that fight. But like boxing politics, that happened. I didn't get the rematch, so now 2.5 years, like you said, I'm getting a chance to get back on top. So I'm more than thankful for that.
And what did you think of Stephen Fulton's performance against Brandon Figueroa? I mean, he fought. It turned into a dogfight at times. He's shown a lot of volatility, obviously, in his championship reign and even before that. What did you think of his performance in that fight, and what did you think of the results?
Oh, I mean, he did a good fight, you know, and he did a smart fight. He did a good adjustments during the fight, and it was a close fight, but he took it, you know. So respect for him.
You thought he won the fight, though?
It was a close fight. I think a draw, if anything.
Okay, thank you. And Stephen, for you, can you express what you feel you showed people in that fight? I mean, you've shown a lot here in the way you fought Angelo Leo, and then of course the way you fought Brandon Figueroa. Just in terms of what you're able to do and the diversity in your game.
Man, I showed that I can do whatever it takes to get the job done. I boxed early in my career. I fought later in my around these times. Who knows what else I can do? I know, but you guys don't know. So I just showed that side that it's more to Stephen Fulton.
And Stephen, was the Figueroa rematch presented to you? I know it was something that was discussed externally, but was it something that was presented to you, or was it a realistic option for the next fight?
It could have been a realistic. If I feel like it could have been realistic, more so on their behalf, though.
Can you elaborate?
You know, some things, you know, I don't really want to talk about it.
In other words, the money wasn't right, or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you'll fight him again at some point? It was a great fight. Obviously, people loved it. So, you think you'll fight him again?
When I move up, yeah.
Okay.
But have you interviewed him?
Not recently.
All right. When you interview him, you ask him that same question. All right.
I will. I'll let you know.
I'm only saying that because people who interview me, they always ask me about the rematch. Will you rematch him? Will you rematch him? And it's like, well, what do y'all think? I lost the fight? Like, I'm the champion. Why y'all asking me about rematching him? That's the only reason why I'm asking. Okay, nothing personal though.
No. I didn't take it personally at all. I'd gladly ask him. I just haven't spoken to him. I just have one last question for you, Stephen. What did you think of Danny Roman's fight against Ahmadalia? Who did you think won, and what type of fight did you see it as?
I honestly only seen highlights. I haven't seen the full action of the fight.
Okay.
I only seen the highlights of it. Now my trainer can tell you more about it. Me, I'm just getting back to how I've normally been. He's not gonna be the same fighter coming into this fight anyway, because I'm not southpaw, so I didn't really pay that fight any mind. And I haven't really studied film on a lot of fighters, and when I did that, I was having more fun with the sport.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Keith.
Flo, before you go on to the next question, I think it's interesting, Stephen, you raised up a really salient point about make sure you ask Brandon Figueroa that question. I did ask him that question. Matter of fact, in our last fight in Vegas, and I saw his father, and I said, are you going to push to get for a rematch against Stephen Fulton Jr.? And his response was no, that we're moving up. We're moving up. We have no interest. We want to move up to 126. So it's interesting that was their response. Because I thought that it would be automatic that you guys would want to do it up again. But, they said they had no interest. They wanted to move up to a higher weight.
When I get there, when I get them belts, and we'll see.
Yeah, got it. Go ahead, Flo. I'm sorry.
No. I like the question. So the next question comes from Abe Gonzalez with New York Fights. Abe, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. How you doing, Stephen Fulton Jr., champ? I get it. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I get it. Was there a different date for this fight that you were presented with, or when it was presented to you, and knowing that you were gonna be in the middle of Ramadan, was that something that you didn't even think twice, or was it an option to maybe do it at a later date so that wouldn't be part of your training camp?
No, I didn't have to think twice. I fought during Ramadan 4 years in a row. During and got knockouts each year. I've fought during those years. So I already knew like I'm about to prepare for a fight, and Ramadan is the month before or 2 months before. I said, oh, yeah, this is gonna be good for me because my mental, everything is just different for me when I'm fasting and when I'm, on my spiritual journey. Everything is just totally different for me. I feel like those are the things that mentally pushes me. And I always speak about mental. Those are the things that push me to that next level mentally. The fighting game is more mental than it is physical anyway.
Gotcha. And then do you think these last 4 fights that you've had, and it seems like, you're always raising that bar for each fight after, has prepared you for this point of your career?
Yes. Like being in them 2 fights back to back, my last 2 fights back to back like that, like them dog fights, that only pushed me to be more of I can do what I want in that ring. Whatever I want, I can do it at any moment, at any time. I can do it, and I will do it when I feel like doing it.
Got it. And then this question for you, Danny Roman. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And how different was the physical and mental preparation for this fight compared to some of the other ones, especially like with the MJ fight, which was another high-level fight that you had? So you're going one after the other on the level of opponents. But how different was it? How different has it been mentally and physically preparing for this?
We've been in situations like this, important fights. Now I'm the challenger. I'm challenging Fulton for the 2 titles. So mentally I'm ready. I've been through this road already, and I know what it takes. So yes, I feel like I'm ready. I train hard like I always do. I always get ready for the best, especially now I'm going against Fulton. So mentally and physically, I feel prepared.
All right. So last question will come from Soichi Hayashi with Yahoo Japan. Please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. In Japan, the most popular fighter in WBA and IBF Bantamweight champion Naoya Inoue will fight against the WBC Bantamweight champion Nonito Donaire on June 7th. Maybe he will move up after, if he will win, he will move up unification about he will win. So first of all, Mr. Fulton, how do you analyze Inoue fight? Inoue's fighting style, and do you want to fight against Inoue?
If he moves up in time, I will face him, but I don't think he will move up just that fast.
Okay, how do you analyze?
He have a great style, though. He have a great style. Yeah. Sometimes it can be unpredictable, but sometimes a fighter of my caliber is very predictable. So it all depends on the fighter that he's facing, on how his style can, the outcome of his style can be.
Okay, thank you. And Loman, I have a same question.
Same
how
question?
do you analyze Naoya Inoue fighting style, and do you want to fight against Inoue?
Of course. I mean, he's considered one of the best pound for pounds. He's the champion of Japan, and of course, I'm here to fight the best. But like maybe in the future, we could face each other. But right now, my focus is Fulton. But why not? I'm here to fight the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Now, back to Caster.
Okay, thank you, Flo. Listen, folks, this June 4th is going to be great. I mean, you got 2 gentlemen of the sport, 2 really exceptional fighters. Stephen, just a last cap on this one. How does it feel now being the man of the division? For so long, you were facing these undefeated fighters and looking for these big time fights. And now people are looking to you as the guy, calling you out, saying, I want you. How does this feel that the tables have turned here? And what is it like being the unified champ?
It feels good that the tables have turned. And what it feels like to me, I feel normal. I feel like I'm supposed to do this. I feel like this is my lifestyle. This is what I was made to do this whole time. I don't feel like overexcited. I don't think about it too much. And until I go in my sunroom and I unzipping the belt bag and I look at it, I'm like, damn, I'm world champ, unified. Not everybody become unified. Not everyone becomes world champion. So that just made me feel good. It feels it's a hell of a feeling. But it feels even better that I'm in a position to call shots. It's more so about being in that position.
Love that. Danny, you've been in that position, and now you've got the opportunity. You are this close to being the man again. Talk to me about this opportunity and where you are, because you've been waiting for it for a long time, and now it's here.
No, I'm more than excited, because this is my chance. This doesn't come twice, especially against the unified champion. Even as a champion, not like Fulton said, not everybody can become champion, especially unified champion. So I know you could say I'm one step away from becoming a unified champion. So this is my all, either you do this or you don't. So I'm more than excited, and I feel more than ready. And I hope Fulton feels the same way, So let's give these people what they want to see. They want to see a great fight. Let's give them a great fight.
And champ, I'll give you the final word. June 4th, you got Danny Roman. This is it. And listen, I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing you fight again. Cool boy, Steph. Give me your final word on this fight in this division, which is one of the best divisions in boxing, and what they should expect.
I feel like y'all should expect a great fight, smart fight. The division is hot because of me. I have to take credit for that. I have to. When everybody else is world champ, the division was a little quiet because they don't do the talking. I did the talking. I did the walking. June 4th, it'll be no different. Y'all know how I fight. Y'all know I'm smart. Y'all know I could adjust. Y'all know I could adapt. Y'all know a lot about me, but there's still some things that y'all don't know. And my mood and how I've been feeling lately since the last fight. And I feel like that's gonna be the game changer of this fight. Y'all seen the cool boy stuff. Y'all didn't see why they call me a scooter. Y'all didn't see the bad part of the things that I've been through and I go through daily of facing and fighting myself. And June 4th, y'all see that.
Folks, it is the main event of a card that comes your way June 4th from the Armory in Minneapolis. Is being promoted by TGB Promotions. Warriors Boxing, the main event, Fulton versus Roman, is also being promoted by Thompson Boxing as well. Get your tickets at the Armory. Get them at armorymn.com, and you can get them through Ticketmaster as well. Gentlemen, best of luck. Looking forward to seeing both of you guys on June 4th. You got the former unified champ, Danny Roman. You got the current, unbeaten, unified champion of the world, Stephen Fulton Jr. Folks, Brian Custer here, and we will see you June 4th on Showtime Championship Boxing.